Hello, mambo vipi? Njega Diaspora Media fans. Many thanks for tuning in to Njega Diaspora Media. And of course, today I have taken you to the streets of Washington. And this is Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. This is the capital city of America. We are on the streets of Washington. We just came here. Yeah. It's okay. Just came here to visit Washington. And we've just been from Washington Monument, which happens to be one of the very nice places to visit here. So I want to show you the Washington Monument. If you can see it over there. Yeah, that's the Washington Monument. That building is 500 feet. And we will be going on top of that monument. But before we do so, I want to show you the streets of Washington. And one thing I love about Washington, this was my port of entry. When you are traveling or when you have got visa to come to the United States, the place where you will like alight from, where your flight will be your last day, like your entry point. The port of entry is the entry point for you to enter the United States. So Washington was my entry point, port of entry, when I came here to United States and 2 years ago. So these are the streets of Washington, and we have got some historical places over here. Yes, and it is so beautiful. It's a very beautiful scenario here. This is I think these are students. They are running all around there. So one thing with America, when you bring your kids here, that's why I'm advocating, when you are feeling for the DV lottery, make sure to add all your kids there, as long as they are your kids, because they benefit a lot. They will go to school for free from grade 1 up to high school, and then from there in college you can have some scholarship for colleges too. But the thing is, your children will be going for school for free here in the United States. So bring all your children here, add them in that DS to see, in that green card. Don't leave them aside, because you will be denying them a very nice chance for them to study in the United States. So let them be. This country is for kids, so don't deny them a chance to come and study here in the United States, and they will become whatever they will become. So if you're applying for green card and you have your kids with you, make sure to add them in that green card application. That's very important, because once you add them, they'll be able to come and navigate here and do all the stuffs that they need to do in life. So I'm just showing you the streets of Washington. Very nice. They are so clean. Yeah. And one thing I've realized and I've seen in Washington, There are a lot of police. I don't know whether it's because it's the capital city of the United States. So there are a lot of police all over this place. So when we were on top of that Washington Monument, or when we will be there, you will be seeing this place. Like we will be on top and you will be seeing this place down there, down the earth. And one of the beautiful things I was enjoying seeing was this. Is it a river? Is it a lake? Is it a dam? Yeah, this was one of the very best thing I was enjoying to see on top of that monument, Washington Monument. It's not the tallest building in the world. Of course, that's an old building. So there must be tallest building right now. Yeah. So these are the streets of Washington. So if you're coming to America and your host is in Washington, this is one of the very expensive to stay here. But you will go where your host is. If your host, wherever you get a host, that's where you will go. Yeah. So one thing, once you are in America, there is this Google Map. Google Map is the sure deal, or Waze, or whatever you are used to, because you will be navigating these places with your Google Map very, very freely, without any problem, as long as you are able to master the Google Map. Yes, that's the one of the very best thing about these Google Maps. It came to ease and things. So these are the states of Washington. We will be navigating, and I will be taking you to different states, to different cities in the United States of this great country of the United States. So we will be going for a road trip, and we will be checking various cities in the United States. And of course, we will be beginning with those cities in Pennsylvania. I haven't even shown you how this place looks like, but of course, you've been seeing some of the videos that I have been making, how this place looks like, so that you can have a taste. You can have a taste of this America. So America was not on my dreams, and as I told you, I tried green card several times. I didn't get it, but that was not a do or die thing. Yeah, because there is always another chance. You know, there are people who are like, if I don't go to America, I don't know what to get. Stress yourself. No, you don't have to stress yourself. But when your time comes, when God gives you and grants you that chance, then you will have to see yourself here. And I want to tell you, green card, it's a lottery, yes, but people do win. Even those people who win are people like you. So you're not an exemption. You don't have to exempt yourself. You have to just apply for it. If it comes through, well and good. If it doesn't come through, there is a life that you're living there. And I told you before, once you win green card and you find yourself in America and you see things are not working the way you intended them to work, you can decide to go back home. It's free. It doesn't have any restriction. You can come here, stay for 6 months, and then you go back to your home, stay for 6 months. But that will be a very expensive step or decision to make in life. Because there are people who reach here and they are like, I'm not able to survive in America because America has got its challenges. This country has got its challenges. One thing, you're coming here as an old person, like you're not a kid. You're coming here to adapt. Some of the challenging things is to adapt in a new country that you go. When I landed into into Doha, Qatar, that place was hot. You can't even go to a shopping center while walking when it's summertime. That sunshine can remove all your hair in your head. So those are some of the culture shocks and the new things that you find when you go to these countries. So that was the very big challenge in Doha, Qatar, about the heat. There are times when you can't work or walk in the heat. You get arrested by the Al-Fazar. We used to call them Al-Fazar. Those are the policemen, police women in Doha, Qatar. So what happens when it is summertime? There is a time where you are allowed to work for those working in construction and in places where they are in direct contact with the sun. They are restricted from working into those times. So during summer, many people work at night, and many companies work at night to avoid exposing their workers or employees into direct heat. So as well as America, there are challenges. If you will not be able to cope up with the challenge, then it's a free deal. You can go and come back whenever time you want. That is when you have got right visa. One of the very, very difficult things to do in the United States. Hey, are you okay? Boss. My boss is behind here and he's saying, I also want to talk. I want to make some comments. What's your comment? Yeah, so I was trying to say what was I saying before my boss interrupted. We were talking about challenges here in the United States, and one of the things I was trying to explain is there are people who come here with visit visa and then they refuse going back home, expecting maybe to file for asylum or to extend that visa into a green card. It has really messed some people, because if you're given a visa to come here for 6 months, then be sure you won't be able to work, because that visa is not a work visa. So you'll again begin to struggle. You'll again struggle in America. There are people struggling here. I'll be showing you in the streets here. We will be meeting some homeless people in the streets. They don't have homes to go. They don't have any place to stay because they messed up either by extending their visa here, and you find that it will be difficult for you to adjust your visa into a green card or whichever visa you want. So I've seen so many people ask, can I come and visit? The question is, you will visit, yes, but what will you be doing during that particular time? You become a burden to the person hosting you, the person that has invited you. But of course, if you're coming for a conference like a church conference or any other occasion that you are coming here, your visa tells you that you have to go back to your country after a specific period of time. So if you will not be able to make it to your country at that time, then be assured that that will be a very big trouble for you. It will be a very big trouble for you. So that's life in America. And we are in Washington, D.C. When we were coming here, this was our port entry, and our host asked us, "Where are you booking from?" He gave us several airports that we can use, and we found these as the cheapest. This was the cheapest airport according to us when we were booking for the air ticket, and it was Washington, D.C. So if you are able to read for me that word, Washington what? Yes, Dulles. That's how you read it. You read it as Washington Dulles, but that is Washington Dallas. So that's the full form of DC. It's Washington Dallas, not Dulles. So I told my host, I'm alighting at Washington Dulles. And when we came here, he was like, it's not Dulles, it's Washington Dallas. So those are some of the awkward things you'll find about America. Like this other city I found in Pennsylvania. You see this one? This one is, yes, you just said Reading. Is it Reading? That's a city in the Pennsylvania. So it's leading. I was like, that road goes to Reading. And my house was like, no, that's leading. So those are some of the awkward things you will find here in America. So it's good that now you know. So if you in Washington, there is a very popular place known as Swahili Village, and they sell African dishes. That's where we are heading to. We want to go and see what we will be eating at Swahili dishes area before we end up our trip here today in Washington. This has been our first trip out of state. Not necessarily first trip, but because we have been to several states, but we haven't been there
Stay in the right lane.
by our own. We usually go as a group.
In 3/4 of a mile,
But today we
turn
drove
right onto
ourselves
12th Street
here
Northwest.
to see these places that are here. So there are very many Africans or Kenyans or people doing business in our United States. It's one of the very beautiful things to see our fellow people doing business here in America, and that's very, very nice. So we have got one restaurant that sells African dishes. Just a few minutes to go, like 14 minutes, we will be there in these streets of Washington. I used to hear Washington while in listening to BBC London, and there was one guy who we used to call Mwai Wagikonyo. He used to say, my name is Mwai Wagikonyo, reporting from Washington DC. So this is the Washington DC today we are in, and of course you are also there because we are touring Washington DC together. Yeah, so let's go and see what we will have to eat. A friend of ours had suggested to us that when you visit Washington, make sure you've gone and seen that place called Swahili Village. Yeah, that's where we are
In
heading
half
to.
a mile, turn right onto 12th Street Northwest.
So that's my Google map, because I don't want to get lost here. I don't want to go to Modhurwa market. One of the very best thing with these streets, and I also observed, like while I was in Doha, the streets here are clean. They are very clean. You won't find hawkers here in the capital city. No kanjo. The hawkers were at the only place I showed you where we bought ourselves some chips. That is the only place I saw hawkers and people hawking. Not even hawking, but they have got their small trucks there where they are selling their food stuffs and all those things from there. So this is Washington DC.
Go past this light, then at the next one, turn right.
Is that guy a homeless guy? Yeah, I didn't capture him well, but that's looks like he's a homeless guy. So there are people homeless here. Some it's, and I don't think it's anybody's wish to take photo of this street. It's not somebody's wish, but especially many men, you'll find them in the streets because they messed up with the law here. So once you mess up with the law here, you end up in the street. Not only messing up with the law, even when you become jobless for a particular period of time, you will be, there is something in the United States which they call work history. So if your work history goes bad, nobody will employ you. Like you've been into a conflict and all that, and you get in trouble with the law, that one can lead you into the streets.
Turn right onto 12th Street Northwest.
I'm very happy. These are like, yeah, they look like the streets of Doha, Qatar. Very, very cool. So I think we are going here. You see, pedestrians must be respected at all.
In half a mile, turn left onto Massachusetts Avenue Northwest.
Okay, let me reduce you, Google. They want me to turn? In half a mile. You see, we are now at this heart
In half a mile, turn
of
left
Washington.
onto Massachusetts Avenue Northwest.
Hope we will find a parking slot there. We will end up paying again. So these are the streets of Washington DC, Washington Dulles. Washington Dulles. Oh my goodness, America will show us trouble. Because Washington Dulles, how do you call a place Washington Dallas, and yet it's Dulles? If it's Dallas, they would have written there A. But you're saying Dulles. Leading. Alright. Yeah, now this is a city. It just looks like Nairobi, but Nairobi, there are so many con people in the streets. One of the places I don't like walking is Nairobi. I land in Nairobi. If I don't have any business in Nairobi, I will go away. I don't like those streets at all. Walking in those streets. because I see con people taking people's handbags. I don't like seeing that. And the rest, and the people are just watching on you while they are stealing on you. You're very helpless. So that's why I don't like being on the streets of Nairobi, because of that behavior. Tembea Washington. So for more of this, we cheza green card. Cheza green card. Unaweza pia kuja kutembea tu Amerika. Nilisema hapo mwanzo, ukiona Amerika haikufevi, you have an option to you have an option to go back home. And if you're having something good you're doing there in Kenya, then you can consider that too. Don't come kill yourself with shifts here. But I'm not restricting anyone from coming to America. Come guys, come, let's make dollars. But of course, let's exhaust these streets of Washington, because I don't know the next time I'll be here in Washington is when.
Use the right 2 lanes to take the exit onto 2nd Street Northwest.
This is the beauty of United States. So we are again inside the tunnel. Isn't this the same tunnel that we came?
Take the exit, then keep left onto 2nd Street Northwest.
So many thanks, Jenga Diaspora Media family.